night, 10:41 p.m. in the East, streaming live on Pride48.com. It's time for The Mix. My name is Daniel Brewer. I do not do this show alone. I do it with my very disapproving co-host. He's shaking his head no in many ways. It's Adam Burns, ladies and gentlemen. Adam, how are you this evening?
I'm unhappy.
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking. Why are you unhappy, Adam?
Well, apparently you go on break for 2 weeks and your video switcher decides to forget every fucking setting that you have set.
You're so angry about it. You're actually breaking up right now, which is great.
I'm breaking up.
Yeah. You're. It's fine. It's just Discord only. Fine. It's fine.
We're having internet issues as well. I'm having internet issues on top of everything,
I think it's a ducking issue. I think it's with there's something happening with an error correction. an echo cancellation that's not taking place. But you know what, Adam? We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to keep going forward because well, that's going to be fun to listen to. What's going to be fun to listen to? Anyway, I'm sorry. I was reading the chat room, Adam, which is something we shouldn't do. What you were saying is we take a 2-week break and little gremlins come into our studios and move things around and make things, just not work in the way that they're supposed to work, but it's all right.
Yeah, I know. It'll sound fine on the podcast because we're both recording locally, but it's just all of these weird things, right? Yeah. But yeah, we were ready to start maybe half an hour ago, and then I realized the video switcher, none of those shots were right. And then I tried to load a backup, and then that didn't work. And I go in and realize the audio had reset itself, and it's very touchy, this audio on the video switcher, and nobody will even hear it except for live folks. So there you go.
You know what? We don't talk about them enough, but we do have a live chat room that watches us as we record this show. So we'd like to say a very special hello to them. Let's see, this evening we have Auntie Scott, Kathy Marshall, our executive producer Cyclone, Gary and Phoenix, and Lamont Cranston, all shoved over there in the audio room on our Discord server. And maybe we have others watching us on our YouTube channel because we are also streaming live on it. So hello, welcome. If you want to chat with us, you can go to pride48.com and click on the chat button. That'll take you to our Discord server. You don't have to listen to the audio there. You can just use that Pride 48 live chat room to chat with us.
We stream all over the place. We're in the Discord channel. If you want to go there, we're on YouTube, and we're also Pride 48, which is what you said. And
in Archer wanted to let you know, Archer wanted everyone to know that Archer was also there. So hello, Archer. By the way, look at the last item on our Trello there tonight, Adam. It says Archer ×2. I'm planning on talking about Archer.
Is that why he showed up? See, I don't think he'll make it to the end. So, you probably did that on purpose, but I don't know that he'll make it to the end, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what I did, because I know midway through the show, he's going to fall asleep, right? But normally he would tell, well, I don't have to listen to their show because I fell asleep. I heard it live, but he missed half the show. So now by putting stuff about him at the end of the show, I've ensured that, of course he's going to fall asleep. Of course he's 57. He can't keep his eyes open past that late. He's going to fall asleep. But here's the thing. He's going to go, oh, I wanted to hear what they said about me. So then he will download the episode and listen to it when we post it. See, I'm just ensuring that he listens to all of the show.
That's how we get listeners, ladies and gentlemen. We just talk about each one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we know that they have to listen to the show to hear what we said. Yeah.
Kind of like Waldo in that Muppet movie, that 3D Muppet movie where he's like, everybody here thinks I'm talking to them, but I'm really just talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I had to tie it back to something from your awful Disney trip, which you know what? We'll talk about your awful Disney trip. Let's talk about what most people tune into this podcast to hear is my running update.
So wait, before you start, you have 2 cards dedicated to running. Those couldn't be combined into one card. Like, you're going to both do a running update on how your training is going, even though you have now officially, I'm sure you're still training, races. But I have
more races coming up and I was about to tell people about.
Yeah. So you're going to split that up. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because this is not that. That's about the trip. This is about my running update. This past 2 weeks, I ran my race that Adam came down and watched, the Monsters Inc. 10K at Disney. We'll talk about that after I get finished with my running update here. I have finally increased my running increment because I was keeping it steady until after the race. So I did my first full week of minute 40 running, minute 30 walking. And then I also signed up for a July 4th race, which actually takes place at midnight. And it's got a torch-lit little trail and everything out in Dunedin. It goes out to Honeymoon Island, which is a state park, little island out in the Gulf of Mexico. So we will be running, Zach's going to run it with me. So we're going to run the July 4th 10K at midnight. That's going to be fun. So I'm hoping to get up to about at least 2.5 minutes running, a minute 30 walking by the time the July 4th race comes. I'm not going to hold myself to that, but that's my stretch goal there. To get there. Also, I just wanted to say that Zach and I both are signed up for the Wine and Dine, the Epcot Wine and Dine, which is the Disney race in November. We're running the 10K for that. And we weren't able to sign up for the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend, which is coming up in January of 2024, because it sold out within an hour. But lo and behold, the heavens parted open this past week, and we are both running the 10K in the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend. We will actually be running.
When is that?
That is in January of 2024. Okay. We'll be running it for Autism Speaks. So I will actually have a fundraising code that I'll be giving you guys later to help me with that, to raise money for Autism Speaks, a worthy cause, but that is the price of getting into the race and running it for charity. Is I have to raise some money. Did you know? Yes. That my niece is autistic? I did not. Yeah. Being a computer programmer, I work with a lot of people on the spectrum. They're very high functioning autistics, but she's not uncommon. Way autistic. Okay. I don't know. She talks a little, but she's probably 12 or 13 now, and she still mostly runs around and stares at the ceiling and quotes cartoon movies. So it's very hard you can't have a conversation with her. They have, depending on where they are on the spectrum, they have very little social skills. Yeah. Anyway, Autism Speaks. I'm running for that. So make sure, Adam, that you donate to my run. I will. Remember, Zach is running it also, so remember to donate to me, not to Zach. He can just go get his. He can get his. I could donate to both. You could. We basically have to raise $700 in order to run. Before we have to raise $700, yes, to run. Before December 21st. And if we haven't raised the full 700 by then, they'll just charge our credit cards for whatever's missing. Does a balloon lady come to your house and say, no, I was saying, we'll still run. We'll still run, but we will be making the note. So we both started ours off with the $25 entry fee and the $100. So we both started off just donating $125 ourselves to our own fundraisers. So which means that each of us just has to raise $575 before December. And I got enough, family members and coworkers out there that can afford to part with $20 or so. So don't worry, I won't hit up the podcast audience too badly, but I will be coming after you for something. Just a little bit. Doesn't have to be much, but it's a worthy cause, and you should help everybody out. All right. That is all I'm going to say about my running update. Now let's get into the whole reason that we haven't been on for 2 weeks is because you were here in Florida for the aforementioned Monsters, Inc. 10K at the Walt Disney World Run Disney Weekend. God, that has a lot of words. We were, and we had a fantastic time. Now, I've got some, wonderful. No, you know what? I've got clips that say otherwise from your other show, but that's all right. That's all right. We'll get to that in a second. I just wanted to talk about this on the morning of the race. Now, keep in mind that you're instructed to be in the Epcot parking lot no later than 4 a.m. if you're running the race. And the wording inside the emails that they give you make it sound as though if you're not in the parking lot by 4 a.m., you're not going to be able to race. So they impressed with no no lack of urgency.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Disney is very accommodating to all of their guests, and everything's a happy day and all this kind of stuff, unless you are a Disney runner. And then it's like, you got to be here at this time. The balloon ladies are going to kick you off the course if you don't run fast enough. You have to get this much donation. So but here's the thing: is the reason they do that is because there's 10,000 people running this race, and they have to manage all of these people and get them so that the race can start on time, because they need to open a theme park, right? We're running through their theme park. They need us out of the theme park so that they can open up to the public. So I knew I had to get up stupid early on Saturday morning. So I got up at about 2:30. I took a shower, got dressed, got all my race stuff prepped. My sister was supposed to come and pick me up, and we would go to Epcot. We were staying at a hotel very close on property, so we were 10 minutes away from Epcot, not a big deal. So she was going to pick me up around 3:15 or so. Yes.
I figured that gives us 45 minutes to make it to Epcot. That's not a big problem.
And Mark and I were sleeping at this time, completely unaware of what's going on, right?
So I text my sister at 3 a.m. and I'm like, "When are you up?" And no reply. And then she replies, she's like, "Yep, I'm up. I'm heading your way in just a minute." This is around, like 3:10 or something. And she goes, "Yeah, I'm heading your way, and I'll be there in a bit." So I'm like, "Cool, she's coming this way." And then she says, "This is the address I have for your hotel. Is that right?" And I'm looking at the address, and it's not the right address, but I don't know the address of the hotel. So I knew that the road that she was going to be on, that right at the place that you needed to turn to come into our hotel, was at a McDonald's. So I looked up the address of that McDonald's, and I sent that to her. And I said, "This is the address that you need to go to. It's a McDonald's where you need to turn. I'll just start walking towards it, and then, I'll catch you on the way." So I start walking off towards the McDonald's, which is, a few minute walk from where we were staying. And I walk up to the McDonald's, and I get a call from her, and she's like, I'm on this such and such a road, and I see this. And I'm just like, like a Winn-Dixie. I'm like, "There's no Winn-Dixie anywhere around here. It's like, you need to be back on this." And we started having this conversation. And by this point in time, it's like 3:25. And I'm starting to panic because I am being told that I need to be in the Epcot parking lot by 4 a.m. And now my sister is completely lost and is not behaving rationally because I gave her the address of where I was, right?
And as we've discussed many times on this show,
yes,
you have this fear of being late to anything. I mean, even this very podcast, you get here between 15 and 30 minutes early. I mean, and we don't even start right at 10 p.m. We do a little pre-show or whatever. We do a little prep, whatever. But you were here 15 to 30 minutes early, depending on what you've got going on, I'm assuming. And I'm sure you were just shitting your pants at this point.
I have never had a panic attack before that I know of, but I feel like this was as close to a panic attack because I realized that she's not responding to what I'm trying to tell her, which is look at the map. Just go to the address I gave you. Don't tell me you're in a Winn-Dixie. I don't care. Just put in that address and follow what the GPS says. And then tell me how long it says until you get here. And she's like, well, I did this and I can't. And so I start panicking. I'm like, oh my God, we're not going to make it. We're not going to be able to, we're not going to make it to the race. It's like people came down here to watch and it's like, and we're not going to make, oh my God, I can't believe. And I started panicking. I couldn't breathe. I was panicking. She's just like, what do you, now you're freaking me out, whatever. And so like, I'm just like, so I go, just go to Epcot. Just go to Epcot. Just go to Epcot on your own. I'm going to go back and get the truck. because all of this was so that you guys could take the truck later
Right.
to come in and watch the race, right? Instead of you guys having to take a Lyft or an Uber, you were going to take the truck. So that's why Cindy was going to pick me up in the first place. So I'm panicking. So now I start running from the McDonald's back to our apartment.
Well, that's a good warm up for the run later. So, I mean, you're good, right? I mean, you're good. Just stretching your legs a little bit, you know?
So I'm running down the road. I'm just freaking out, just, you know, going through my head. He's like, I'm not going to be able to race. And he's like, I'm crying. It's like tears. I'm panicking. So I call Zach. And he's obviously asleep. He's not answering his phone. And so then he calls me back and I'm just like, look, I'm trying to tell him what I'm doing. It's like, look, Cindy got lost. I'm going to come back and take the truck. You guys are going to need to take an Uber to get there. But I'm taking the truck. So don't freak out. You know, the truck isn't stolen. So I'm, you know, and I'm telling him that while I'm like running and breathing hard and he's not really understanding what I'm saying. And so I hang up on him because this lady at the guard shack is now asking me for my room key. Because when I ran to the McDonald's, I exited the secure area of the hotel.
She didn't see you running towards McDonald's or whatever.
So now she asked me for my room key, which I don't have because I gave it to Cindy because she needed it to get into the complex.
Oh, no, I didn't know this
morning.
Part of the story. I didn't know this part.
So I didn't have my room key. And this guard lady is like saying, sir, I need to see your room key. And I'm just like, I'm out of breath. And I'm trying to say, I'm running in the race. And the person that was supposed to pick me up got lost and I've got to get back to my truck. I don't have my room key. It's in the truck. And then she's just like, well, sir, I'm going to, and so I just shout at her like the room number. I'm just like, it was like, what was it? 1342 or something. I'm just like, I'm in room 1342. It's under Brewer, you know, just like, you know, but I have to go. And I just ran away from her and ran and got into the truck. Right. So I get into the truck. I'm in the truck. It's about 3:35. So in my mind, I've got 25 minutes until I'm eliminated from the race. So I drive, it's towards Epcot. I go the same way that we've been going the last 2 days, right? It's just right up the road and there's the exit to Epcot, right? It's just right there. Yeah. And then suddenly there's signs everywhere, big signs that are going, you know, race day, these roads are closed, detour, right? And so, Epcot detour here, and so I'm like, oh shit, I don't even know what entrance of Epcot I'm supposed to go. So I'm following these signs and I'm just panicking. I park the truck at 3:57 a.m. Yeah. 3:57 a.m. is when I made it into my parking spot at Epcot. And, I'm like, oh, thank God I made it. So I made it. And it's like, all right, I'm going to, so I'm calmed down enough now and I'm walking towards the starting area, which is about a mile walk, because you have to go through security and whatnot on the other side of the parking lot. So I'm walking so I call my sister just to see if she made it. And she's like, yeah, I just got here and I'm walking up towards the security gate. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, well, are you at the part where the monorail goes over the parking lot yet? Because that was where I was at. And she's like, oh yeah, it's right in front of me. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold up your hand. And she was like, 5 people behind me. And she's like, I'm like, oh, there it is. So we literally found each other, in the parking lot getting in. So I recovered her there. All of this is to say, I didn't need to be there by 4 a.m. I could have gotten there like another 30 minutes later and it would have been fine.
It's like they're trying to corral 10,000 people. So the other side of that story is poor Zach, right? Because you told him a certain time that you thought we needed to go. But the time that you told him was assuming that we had the truck.
Right.
And so Zach didn't want to wake us up until we had expected to be, we had set our alarm and everything, but like I said, we didn't know all this was going on.
Right.
So he didn't wake us up. And then we needed to get an Uber. And so we got up around 6:30 or something because you had said, oh yeah, I won't be done until whatever time.
Right.
And so he's like, oh, we got to go. All this happened. Blah. I'm like, well, Zach, why didn't you just wake us up a little bit earlier? And then we get in the car, the Uber car. The lady did not speak English. I don't mean she spoke a little bit of English. I mean, the lady spoke zero English.
Now I had talked to Zach because I had to let him know to tell the Lyft driver that the only entrance to Epcot is the one off World Drive. So make sure that they go to the one off World Drive.
But he couldn't because she didn't speak English.
Yeah.
And so then he's like, trying to put the directions on his phone and then trying to hook his phone up to her Apple CarPlay and all this kind of stuff. And we're all like, oh my God, he's kind of as stressed as you are having a panic. Well, we're not going to make it. And you guys came to see Daniel and he's going to hate me. Daniel's going to hate me. If we don't get there. And we got there probably 10 minutes before you crossed the finish line. So we did see you cross the finish line.
You guys not only saw me cross the finish line, you guys were there. I could cheering. I got to see you. I got to wave back. That was fun. I don't think, looking at the video, I don't look like I was a haggard mess after my 10K. I looked in pretty good shape running across the finish line. I wasn't limping and dragging my weary bones across the finish line or whatever. You know what? Let me say this. I had a great time. The race was amazing. I've already talked about this on my Disney podcast. So if you want to hear, excruciating details about the race, go listen to the other podcast that I do. It's called Don't Do Disney Without Us. I do it with my partner, Zach. And we talked a couple episodes ago about our very first Run Disney weekend. So that you'll hear a lot about the race there. But I, Adam, wanted to address something with you.
I said this before the show. And I know you've got an audio clip and all this kind of bullshit.
Clips.
But I know that you've got this. But I just want to, before we go into this, I want to say, first of all, you and I are too similar in this fact that one little iota of criticism, I could have told you're the sexiest, hottest, most generous, wonderful, best friend. I could have gone on for an hour talking about how great you were. And if I said one thing that is negative, that is all you would take away from that for the next 6 months. Now, I'm the same way. So I can't really fault you for it because I'm exactly the same way. But and the other thing I want to say is, as I've said before,
yes,
on podcasts, it is not an entertaining thing to just go, yeah, we had a great time and everything was wonderful. And that is not entertaining for people. What they come for is the struggles, the stress, the rants, all of that is what they really come for. So I'm not just going to get on a podcast and be like, oh yeah, everything was great. We saw him. It was great. And then Joe's going to be like, oh, okay. And then, nothing to work with at all. Right?
Let's just take a listen to this little clip here. This is Adam Burns on his award-winning podcast, Throwing Down with Joe Batance, which is only available if you subscribe to Afterthought, and you can't subscribe. Didn't he say don't they close? I don't know. It's crazy.
I have no idea.
Afterthought Media is the place where you can hear Throwing Down.
Joe, so what's going on is Mark and I went to Florida specifically to see or to at least clap as Daniel ran across the finish line of this 10K. I mean, you can't really watch a 10K, right? Because unless you're running along beside them.
You could have.
Apparently Taylor also participated in this 10K.
Did you see him?
By the way, that's exactly how much of a mention I got on the Pod as My Co-Pilot show where they recap the race. Was at some point somebody said, oh yeah, apparently Daniel Brewer also ran this race at the same time, I think. Yeah, I'm not really sure. That's exactly as much as I got on their show. Let's continue.
Run across the finish line?
No, I missed him. I did see Babalu.
We did. We saw Babalu
sitting in the stands and said hi to him and everything. But somehow I missed Taylor. So anyway, that's what we were doing. But Daniel and Zach, and it was very sweet of them. It was very sweet of them.
You know something bad's coming because you're already prefacing it with
it's not
sugarcoating.
It's not bad.
It's like
planned Disney days for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
We did.
Because Mark and I went we got there Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel's like, oh, what are the things that you want to do at Disney? And I'm so pleased. And this is the part because I know he's going to have something to say. And I had a great time,
Mm-hmm.
but I wasn't expecting the level of Disney-ness that it was going to be over.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're about to say some things that are just plain wrong, but we'll get to those in a second.
Okay.
You didn't expect this level of Disney. Like Adam, I spent weeks on the after show here on our level 13 after show, as well as on this podcast, asking what do you want to do? When you gave me a list of things that you wanted to do.
First of all, let me go back to say, I can't just on a podcast say everything went great.
Yep.
But because I just want to say that again. I want to say it a few times so everybody can get it. Mm-hmm. We had a great time.
Yeah.
The thing is, I did not expect 9 a.m. to like 11 p.m.
Let's stop.
That might be an exaggeration.
Let's listen to what you have to say here.
Over the 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
We got up and left around 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
both Thursday and Friday morning.
Okay.
And we were in the park until 10 or 11 at night.
The whole time.
We did not go back to the hotel.
All right, Adam, we did get up at around 9 o'clock both days.
Uh-huh.
We didn't get to the parks at 9 a.m. We got up at around 9 a.m. On the first day, we had breakfast near the park at 10 a.m.
But I'm saying,
we didn't even walk into the park until like 11 something.
No, 10 something.
No, 11 something, but or closer to 11. But my point is, and I will give you this. We were at the Magic Kingdom the very first night, Thursday night. We were there late because Mark couldn't join us until dinner. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to make sure he did some stuff at the Kingdom. So we went back to the Kingdom to watch the fireworks. And then the park was open another 2 hours after that. And we availed ourselves of that time to do some things with Mark. Now, but the second day, the Friday, we might have gotten up at 9, but we didn't go to Epcot until 11. And because we met my sister at 12:30 and we had only been there for a little bit. And you guys left Epcot before 7 o'clock because we had dinner reservations at 7:25 that night. So you were not in a theme park until 11 o'clock on Friday night. You left the theme park and went to the restaurant.
My point is,
we were back at the hotel by 10 because I had to be up at 2:30. So it's like we were back at the hotel by 10 p.m. on that Friday night.
Well, first of all, like we've said before, we exaggerate on podcast. Mm-hmm. We do. A million times I've said that we exaggerate on podcasts. Also, my point was we were doing something from the time that we left until the time that we got back to the hotel. Yes. Maybe we were not on Disney property, but there were no rest breaks anywhere in there except for Saturday.
Because you said you wanted to do a lot of the things that
I said I gave you 4 rides that I wanted to do.
Those 4 rides are the marquee rides in each of the 4 parks. So it's not like you can just walk in and.
Well, yeah, but I mean, anyway, all I was saying, how many times do I have to say that I had a good time?
I am not challenging you that you had a good time. That's not my point. My point is you're saying you didn't expect to be comprehensively treated to a day at Disney, yet I thought that's what you wanted. Let me just say this. There was absolutely nothing that we did at the parks that I haven't done 100 times.
I know.
So it wasn't for me. I thought we were doing the whole days at the park and getting on these rides and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I thought we were doing it for you guys because of the enormous expense of the Disney tickets, which you kept talking about, that they were very expensive. And so I wanted to make sure that you were getting your money's worth on the ticket.
It's hard for me to afford these things. And,
no.
So
can I just say this? The only reason that we did the add-ons. The only reason that we did the Genie Plus and the individual lightning lanes was because that was the most efficient way for us to go around the park without overexerting ourselves. Now, let me ask you this question. When you went to the Magic Kingdom, at any point in time, did we run you from one side of the park to the other and then back again? And
no. You didn't. You didn't do that.
At any point during your entire Disney stay, did you ever wait in any line longer than 30 minutes?
No, I did not.
On your for your 3-day Disney trip right there.
Disney though is kind of the Holland America of theme parks, isn't it?
Oh,
because come on. They're like, oh, pay us all this money, and then they're like, by the way, buy a Genie ticket.
You know who the Holland America is? Joe was trying to point that out to you, Adam. Is like, those aren't required.
No, I know.
The only reason we did those extras was because I wanted to get you into all the things that you wanted to do. And I wanted you to have a lovely...
We did.
I wanted you to think as much of Disney as I think of Disney.
We did have a lovely time, and I love Disney.
And with all that walking that you guys did...
Yeah, I probably burned some...
I also ran a 10K on top of that.
You did.
So I walked everywhere you guys did. And I ran a 10K.
My point, other than trying to be funny on a podcast, which again, I just want to call that out again, was we were there mostly to see you two. And I appreciate
it's like that horrible story where like I cut my hair to buy you a new harmonica, and you sold your pocket watch to get me a beret for my lovely long hair. I get it. Oh, our executive producer is reminding me about the photo atop Mount Epcot. The one contact that I had from Taylor Latte Boy on race day was he sent me a photo of Mount Epcot he was about to cross it. And I said, "Oh my God, it's Mount Epcot. You've got this." I was, but then
for a moment, can we talk about those Pod is my co-pilot people?
I've got it down underneath the contact segment.
Okay.
Yeah. So, oh no, we'll talk about Pod is my co-pilot. No, trust me, Adam. We will talk about Pod is my co-pilot. But first, I know people are, I don't know how much people want to hear about your incredibly fun Disney trip that you had, but let me just paint a picture, because I know you said, we did a lot of walking and your feet are tired, but let me just cover for the folks the things that you did.
Okay.
You went to the Magic Kingdom on Thursday. First of all, you had a delicious breakfast at Steakhouse 71 over the Contemporary Hotel.
Our waitress, do we say waitress nowadays? Server? What do we say?
Our server. Yeah,
she was lovely.
She was lovely. She was from Liverpool, right?
Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah. So we had a lovely breakfast over at Steakhouse 71. We came over to the Magic Kingdom. We did several different rides that we had going on there. We knew that we were going to be called back to ride Tron at at around 12:30 or so. So we knew we had to aim for that. So we meandered over. You did the Monsters laugh floor with the little improv monsters on the laugh floor.
Thank God they did not pick me for that camera. I'm so glad.
You did Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin, where you got to shoot, some little laser beams thing. You did the People Mover, where you got to ride around Tomorrowland, including through Space Mountain, when the lights were on, by the way, because Space Mountain was down, so the lights were on inside Space Mountain. One
of my favorite things, I don't know what order you're going in, but that thing,
this is chronological.
That thing where we go around in a circle and there's that theater and there's the animatronic people, and they're like, I really enjoyed that one. Yeah.
Carousel of Progress. But first, we went to ride Tron, which we did. We rode Tron, and then we came out and we rode the Carousel of Progress.
I nearly blacked out on Tron.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know whether I was blacking out or my contacts are colored contacts. And when you have colored contacts, if you quickly go from bright to dark, and your pupils open up, and you've got these colored contacts on and your pupils open up so far and you start seeing the edges of your so I don't know if that was it. It was great. It was like a great ride. I would go on it again. But I literally thought Daniel's going to have to pick me up off the floor. which normally that does not happen to me on rides.
There were 6 gates that you have to get through on Tron to win the game. So I'm kind of hoping that the 10K next year at the Springtime Surprise is Tron themed, because there's 6 mile markers in the 10K, and like each one of them could be a gate. That would be cool. Anyway, so we rode Tron. We rode Carousel of Progress. We had some delicious food. Including didn't we also have a Dole Whip? Not a Dole Whip, but the orange cream and vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, we had ice cream. Yeah. I don't think we had any food. Did we have food? I think we just had ice cream.
No, we had a late breakfast and we had dinner later, but we had some snacks. But so anyway, we rode Pirates of the Caribbean. We rode the Jungle Cruise. We rode Big Thunder Mountain. Adam, and the Haunted Mansion. Adam, we did so many things.
We did. Yeah.
But you never had to wait longer than 30 minutes.
No, that's true. That's true.
You didn't have to do any unnecessary walking.
I'm old, Daniel. It's
the most amazing nighttime show on the planet, Happily Ever After.
Only problem with that was this young...
I know. Blocking your view.
This young 7'5". I don't know if he is the spawn of the Jolly Green Giant and the lady from Shrek or whoever. I can't think of a tall woman. But he was so tall, and he was like 12. Well, I mean, I'm old now. I don't know how old people are, but he looked so young, and he kept swaying back and forth. I would move, he would move. I would move, he would. I love that show, but at one point, I would love to be able to see it without having somebody's dadgum head in front of me. Anyway.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyway, you had a great time. The next day, we went to Epcot. I had to leave Epcot early to go deal with getting our race bibs and stuff like that Cindy and I had to do, because you can't pick them up on race day. So we left you guys at Epcot, and I entrusted my partner, Zach.
Before that, we did the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which was fun.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't going to cover everything at Epcot.
Right.
But we spent the day at Epcot with my sister. We had a great time. But by the time that we needed to leave you, and then, of course, we would re-meet you at dinner. But by the time that we needed to leave you, I entrusted Zach with taking you to my absolute favorite Epcot attraction. My absolute favorite Epcot attraction, the American Adventure.
It was, yeah.
And I'm so excited because I figured this is so up Adam's alley. This is quasi-documentary. It has got robots in it. It's got big, impressive set pieces that come out of nowhere and fly from the ceiling and come in from the edges and come up from below. It's got a great soundtrack to it. There's a couple of songs there that I find myself occasionally just humming for no reason. It's got a really catchy kind of a soundtrack and everything. Of course it's propaganda. Of course it's 100% American propaganda. I'm not saying that the contents of the show, I'm just thinking if there was a show that Adam Burns would enjoy, it would be the American Adventure at Epcot, because it's got everything. It's got technology, it's got music, it's got documentary, like history. I figured you'd love it. And when I meet back up with you at dinner, I say, oh my God, tell me, what did you think of the American Adventure?
Yeah.
To which Zach said, oh, they fell asleep. Well, you fell asleep.
You can't blame me. I mean, first of all, this is after a day and a half of being in the parks 24/7. And then we sit down, the one time we get to sit down and it's dark and there's air conditioning and all this kind of stuff. It's like, in my 45-year-old, old body, it had nothing to do with the show. I just was sleepy. But I will say, no one would ever accuse me of being too woke.
Yeah.
I mean, I am Southern and I'm getting more liberal the older I get, but we've had some conversation about statues and other things where people will be like, oh my God, Adam is not woke. But that was the most whitewashed.
I don't think. That was not woke. That was anti-woke.
No. Yes. I'm saying me saying this about something.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
It was the most whitewashed. Skipping over anything bad, like the fact that we took everything from the Native Americans. I mean, everything was everyone's great, America. And I was just thinking to myself, gosh, all these people that come from other countries to come to Disney and they go to this show and they already think that we're full of ourselves, you know, these annoying Americans. And then they go to this show and, oh my God, what they must think when they leave that show.
I can tell you
all this confirmation.
They
of what
think to themselves, that was so cool. They had set pieces that came from the bottom and from the side, and they were fucking robots that were dancing around. And you know what? I can't help it. I know it's racist as hell, but I still like that little Civil War song that I keep humming. It's just, I'm just saying. All right, so we went to Epcot. Well, and then on our final day.
No, before you do that, I have to get credit because nobody gives me, Mark does not give me credit. Nobody gives me credrit for this.
What am I not giving you?
We go to this, we go to a tapas restaurant.
Yes.
By the way, your sister is a blast. We loved having her there. She was fantastic. We really enjoyed getting to know her more. I had seen her the last time you and I did a trip together, but it was great. She was there with us. And Mark and I like to do these chef's tables, and I am trying. I get so much crap from all of my listeners, from Mark and from everyone, for not eating seafood.
Seafood, yes.
And I am trying to expand my palate. And so although I will not order seafood myself, we do a lot of chef's tables. And so what I have started doing the past couple of years is I will do a chef's table and I will not ask them to alter the menu at all. And I will eat every single thing that they bring out. They brought out, it was more seafood than it was non-seafood. Salmon tartare with like some roe. There was octopus. There was shrimp. There was some other kind, mussels. All this. I ate every single thing. I get no credit. I mean, I'm not saying you specifically, but I mean, just saying in general. And I just want to say, I want credit. Also, I enjoyed the mussels. The octopus was nasty. I didn't
try the octopus. I didn't try the octopus, but I did enjoy the mussels also.
I liked the mussels. They brought us so many mussels. It was like enough for 3 tables.
Extra thing of it for some,
And I ate loads of mussels. And in fact, if I were going to order something for myself, I think it would be mussels. And then Mark goes, well, mussels are not really seafood because they're freshwater. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you? I ate that whole meal. Anyway,
by the way, where is area code 707? Is that Northern California? Is that Scott from Northern California that snuck into the chat room there? The one that screwed up. I can't talk about the Tontitown arrest because he called into your show to talk about it.
I don't know.
Anyway, so on our final day there, after you got up very, very early and made it to Epcot in order to watch me run across the finish line, and we went and talked to Babalu for several seconds. We got to meet Garrett. Kathy Bacon's son, Garrett. We got to meet Garrett. We took a photo with him. We chatted with him for a bit. We had to leave because I wanted you guys to, get everything that you wanted to get done. And, but yeah, I could have hung out with the runners. I think in November I'll hang around later because there's like food trucks and beer trucks there and everything. So you can like hang around and chat with people, and there were more photo ops to do and stuff. And I think that would be really fun to do. Anyway, we on our final day, we did Animal Kingdom, my favorite park, Animal Kingdom. Now,
yeah, I would say that's mine as well because I love animals.
I hope that you enjoyed
the monkeys.
Yes, I hope that you enjoyed the Festival of the Lion King.
Yes, I did.
Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond. Mm-hmm. I hope you enjoyed both of the incredible shows that they had there, as well as Expedition Everest, which is my favorite roller coaster, and the safari, which I feel like you guys had probably already done the safari.
I always love a safari because I love animals.
And also Pandora, which
so Avatar, the Avatar ride, I will say that I felt like Soarin' at Epcot was better than the Avatar ride. Because
by the way, Adam, also included in that price of your tickets and everything, you'll recall that when we did go into the Soarin' Theater, I politely asked the cast member when they were seating us, can we be in row 2 and B, please? It's their first time. And
yeah, I wish you'd have been there for Avatar, because Avatar, all I saw was the edges of the screen and the people around me. Like, I couldn't immerse myself.
I made a point of ensuring that you not only experienced Soarin', but experienced in the best possible conditions that there were.
So that Lion King show, so not to skip around, but that Lion King show.
Yes.
You undersold those, what are they called?
Tumble Monkeys.
Tumble Monkey. There are these guys in the tightest outfits that I have ever seen in my life. I mean, they hug every ball hair. I mean, you could count the hairs on their balls.
Other than the singers, I feel like the entire cast wears that same skin tight outfits. They just have different accoutrements on around them. But because the Tumble Monkeys do gymnastics, they don't have extra things on their costume.
And they're all short. Which I love short guys.
And they weigh no more than 35 pounds. So
yeah, they're all short and skinny, but nice tight asses. And those things are, that was my favorite part of everything. Just seeing that you undersold them and you talked about them a lot. You're like, oh, you're going to love the Tumble Monkey, but you could have talked about them more, because I was Googling them afterwards. Like, are there any porn pictures of these Tumble Monkeys, Anyway,
Adam's going to be writing fanfics.
I know.
Tumble Monkey fanfics.
I am.
That's what it is. Anyway, so we went to Animal Kingdom. We had a lovely morning, early afternoon there. We went back to the hotel and took a nap, because I had been up since 2:30. So we took a nap, and then in the evening time, we went over to Hollywood Studios, where you got to ride Rise the Resistance. And we were going to see the second spectacular nighttime show there, but the rainstorm came through and they canceled that show, so we did not get to see it because we had dinner reservations. But that was your 3 days. I don't feel like I overburdened you. I don't feel like I overwalked you. I feel like I did as good of a job as a Disney expert as I possibly could have.
You were an excellent tour guide. I have no qualms with the level of knowledge and the way you planned everything out. No qualms with that at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No. And like I said, we had fun and we got to see you run, and
that's right.
None of Pod is my co-pilot other than Babalu.
I know. Oh yeah. We'll talk about that after. But first, go ahead. Tell me about your bike. I've heard a little bit about your bicycles on your award-winning podcast, The Geeky Gay.
I feel like I'll just be short on this. So here's the thing. Yes. Mark wants to be able to ride bikes when we go on trips, because you're
5'7", you're short on everything, but go ahead.
What?
You said you'll be short on this.
Oh, I see.
And you're short on everything.
Yeah. So maybe someone would mistake me for a tumble monkey. I don't know, Daniel. They might.
You know what? You should wear that outfit. And then,
right. I wouldn't look like that. Anyway, so
the tumble orangutan.
How dare you? How dare you? So anyway, he wants to learn how to ride a bike. When he was a kid. Mm-hmm. And I don't know like exactly how much of a struggle his childhood was and everything. I mean, the Philippines is considered a third world country, and there's lots of struggles that they go through, and I don't really know. So maybe they don't have the what do I want to say? Like, it's very common for us to learn how to swim and ride a bike and do all those things. Maybe that is less of a thing there because maybe they're, can't afford to, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Maybe they don't have bikes. Yeah.
So he did not learn how to swim, didn't learn how to ride a bike. And so he wants to learn how to ride a bike because when we go on these trips, a lot of times there will be things we want to do where they're like, oh, rent a bike. You'll be able to, you don't have to walk everything, and it's, you can bike around and be faster and all that kind of stuff. And we've been limited because he doesn't know how to ride a bike. So I said, okay, we're just going to go and we're going to buy bikes at Walmart. They're cheap. We're just going to get the cheapy, whatever. And
the little hussies.
The Huffy is the Huffy is the name. Yes, the Hussies.
And I got me a little hussy bike.
And so because my parents used to have bikes, but my mom sold hers apparently. So anyway, we couldn't use theirs. And so we go to Walmart, we pick out the bikes and everything. And I was thinking they were going to be able to fit in the back of his SUV. No. Not even one fit in the back of his SUV. So we had to sit there for like 20 minutes and wait on my stepdad to come pick us up in his SUV. So now this is where I want, because I feel that when we took Mark snow skiing, I feel that had we gotten him a professional ski instructor, done that, gone on the greens with him and whatever, went through a lesson, whatever, that maybe he would have enjoyed it more and been able, and I could be wrong because skiing, no matter what, is hard. And some people don't have the patience to learn how to ski and they just give up. But now riding a bike, so I feel like we totally failed him on that. So he wants me to teach him how to ride a bike. I don't know how to teach anybody how to ride a bike.
But I listened to your podcast where you looked it up on ChatGPT. You asked ChatGPT.
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, so ChatGPT gave me some instructions on what to do. So but I didn't know if you had any other, helpful hints or, I'm sure it's going to be easier than snow skiing.
As I was listening to you tell that story on your award-winning podcast, The Geeky Gay, I was running through the neighborhood. And I was thinking back to, I'd never had to teach anyone how to ride a bike before, but I did have to teach people how to water ski because growing up we had a lake house and we had a boat. And so, anytime anyone visited our lake house or, come up to our lake house for the weekend or whatever, anytime anyone came to our lake house, I had to teach them how to water ski. And so I had it down to a science, right? Like how to explain to somebody how to get into a squatting position. Like you want to act like you're going to take a dump. You literally want to, make sure that your feet are in a position and you're hunched over like you're going to take a dump. Now just hold it that way. So like I figured out all these things that you could explain these. I feel like that would be the only thing you could do is just figure out what kind of motions on the bike are similar to other things that people do every day. And even if they're embarrassing, because that makes it more vibrant if it's something embarrassing, right? They'll remember it. But, like taking a dump or like, when you pee or I don't know, when you're trying to stop peeing when somebody walks in the room, right? You're peeing and then somebody walks in and you want to stop that muscle. That's the Kegel muscle, by the way. That's the muscle that you want to.
That's how you make sure your orgasms are fulfilling even into your 40s and 50s, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at you, Adam, the more you know, the more you know. Anyway, I don't know. I have no.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
we're gonna probably start this weekend. So maybe next week I will have a bike learning update to add to the run update. We'll see. He's kind of busy this weekend, but if we can find some time, we're gonna start lessons. So
I feel like just take it slow.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I feel what happens is anything that might be embarrassing is what sets them off, I think. Because if you think about it, the snow skiing stuff, it was embarrassing because you guys were telling him what to do and he wasn't doing it perfectly, and so he felt embarrassed, right?
And he fell a few times because you do, right?
So he was embarrassed. And so that's why he said, because the same thing happened at Disney, right? The lift that he got into had a back seat that was wet, and so his pants got wet. And the guard wouldn't let him into the hotel for some stupid ass reason, which he finally did. And but I'm saying he
was upset for a while.
He was upset for a while, and I feel like it was because he was embarrassed. And it's just like, and I get it. It's like you don't want to be embarrassed. So I feel like whatever you do to teach him, just keep that in mind. You don't want to do anything that's going to embarrass him.
I mean, I feel like I should just get him training wheels, but I don't even know if they make those for adult bikes.
They absolutely do.
But maybe that would be more embarrassing, but he wouldn't fall. I mean, you're not going to fall with training wheels, right? Anyway,
you can get one of those 3-wheelers, one of those big 3-wheelers, like the old ladies drive that had the basket in the back.
Yeah.
Those don't tip over. Oh, is that it?
That's it.
So
That's all
I guess we should do this.
3, 2, 1. Contact is the secret, is the moment when everything happens. Contact is the answer, is the reason that everything happens. Contact
Excellent. It is the contact segment of the show, the segment of the show where we play your voicemails, read your emails. Adam, do we have any emails this week?
I think we do. I can handle that in a second. Yeah. So let me look back here. Mm-hmm. Okay. So VJ, and I don't know if these were supposed to be read on the show, but I'm just going to peruse through these really quick.
Peruse through them. Yes.
Dan says, I didn't say every level 13 episode was released months later, but some are. And he gave us a screenshot of one that was posted in March.
Yes.
But was from January. So
because we took all of February off. Yeah, I get it. But you know what? I just did some level 13 work today. So you guys have Saturday episodes coming out all the way up through May 16th.
And just think of it like Mark and I do with 13th. James Corden. You know, you're getting it. You know, but when we end someday, you know, you'll be so behind that you'll have another year's worth of level 13s coming at you.
And if you want to know the real poop, you got to listen to level 13.
Another one, VJ says, I have a TV series to add to your watch list. It's a BBC show that is now available on Hulu called Wreck. It's fun. Wreck, W-R-E-C-K. It's a fun, queer, campy mystery horror show that takes place on a cruise ship. The main character, Jamie, is gay and looking for his sister who went missing while working on the ship. It kind of goes wackadoodle in the third act of the series, but ends better than a Ryan Murphy show.
Well, that's not a high bar.
And he says, you guys enjoy cruises and half-naked men, so I think you'll like it. And he gave us the trailer. On a different, more audio tech note, there's a new microphone system that I thought you all would be interested in. I heard about the Anchorwork M650 wireless lavalier microphone through the GizWiz video podcast, and it sounds like they would work great for recording audio when you're away, traveling at the park, camping, or cruising.
What was that? The Anchorwork M650?
Anchorwork M650 wireless lav. So thank you for the email. And then, he says, P.S.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's $250.
He says, P.S. Adam, since you have a Peacock account and Daniel is your best friend, you could set up a profile for Daniel and share your account with him so you both can watch shows like The Traitor and all the major motion queer movies that Peacock has.
Here's
Daniel,
the problem. The problem with that is Zach got offended by Peacock because when Peacock first came out, we had the free cock, right? So we had the one that just had commercials, right? Just the free one. And so on the free cock, they had given us all of the seasons of Parks and Rec. And so Zach had never seen Parks and Rec. And so we started watching Parks and Rec. And as you know, he doesn't like the binge. So this was a multi-month endeavor.
He only likes to watch like one TV show a week.
Right.
Or
now,
something.
on a half-hour comedy like that, sometimes he'll watch 2. That's fine. Anyway, the point is around an hour and a half. That's like his limit. Anyway, the point is that we started to watch Parks and Rec, and when we got to the end of like season 4, suddenly all of the remaining seasons of Parks and Rec were on their pay tier. They had taken it away, so they had enticed us in with the Parks and Recs, but
pulled the rug out.
Pulled the rug out, and no, you got to pay us to watch this, and that for some reason pissed off Zach so badly that he just decreed that there would be no peacocks in our house.
I mean, if he sees you even having it up on your tablet or your phone,
look, the reason that I whisper when I say peacock is because I'm scared he might hear through this door. And he'll come screaming in here going, oh, hell no. You know, it's just like, it'll be a big kerfuffle.
MC Rook, Phoenix Dave, and JT Music also joined level 13. So welcome to all 3 of you.
Did they all get invites?
Oh no, JT Music did not. So
can you take care of that?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go to our first voicemail, shall we, Adam? Hello.
Good morning on this sad Sunday.
Sad Sunday.
Have a death phone call, which actually is pretty sad. Barry Humphries, who is most famously known for his, would you say drag? I hate to say drag because I know one of you is in Florida.
Oh, this is
message
Dame
could be
Edna.
deleted
Dame
on its
Edna,
way
right?
into the internet. But Barry Humphries, renowned Australian actor, dead, age 89. He was the person behind Dame Edna Everage.
Dame Edna. We have a lot of phone calls, so I'm cutting them briefly there. But thank you, Scotty, for that. And yes, you get credit for Barry.
Another $1 in the pot.
Even though he's Australian. So don't give any of this shit that we don't value dead Australians. We value dead Australians. They just have to, be ones that we know. Hello?
Barry Humphries, dead, Bacon, Woodhaven.
Wow. 3 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That is a 3-second phone call from Kathy Bacon there. The Barry Humphries, dead. Did I give her a thing? Hello.
Glenn Goodman, Dancing with the Stars, dead, Bacon, Woodhaven.
A 5-second one there. 5 second for Bacon.
Glenn Goodman?
No, Lynn. He was a judge.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
the judge on Dancing with the Stars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8.
You do that, right? Yeah, you never.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was bloody awful. 8. Let's see. Here's hello.
Hi, this is RC in Denver.
Hi, RC.
With bad news.
Yeah.
Calling for the death line.
Yes.
Harry Belafonte, trailblazing singer, actor, and activist, dead. 96. Will be missed. Thank you for calling.
Dead. Oh, undead. Oh, undead. Oh, he's dead. Oh.
I would have thought he had been dead a long time ago. I don't know how old he was, but that's like a really old name, like from way back. Yeah.
He is dead, and we have to hear
You
that
didn't
song.
ding ding.
Oh, sorry. Ding, yes. Harry Belafonte. Where were we? Is it here? Are we here?
Hey, Adam and Daniel, this
Hey.
is Gary in Portland.
Hey, Gary.
Jerry Springer is dead.
Jerry
He was
Springer.
79.
Did he die?
He's 79. Yeah, Jerry Springer's dead. He's
Jerry
79.
Springer died?
Oh, my God. You don't know this?
No, I didn't.
You
I
didn't
did
know
not.
this? You know who it was? It was probably that Biden. Probably
Did somebody-
Biden killed him.
Did somebody throw a chair at him? Is that?
He's probably Biden. Joe Biden threw a chair at him. That's why I'm so sorry. I'm picking up everybody's Southern accent. No, continue on, Gary.
Missed your show last couple of weeks, and I'm anxious to hear about your trip
Oh, good.
to Disney World,
Yeah.
Run,
Yeah.
and also about the mess between Disney and the state of Florida. So anyway, looking forward to hearing you guys tomorrow night. Talk to you later. Bye.
Cool. Yeah, and we'll
They're
talk
moving
about
to Atlanta.
We'll
Gary.
talk about that. We'll talk about that in the level 13. By
Disney
the way,
is
if you-
moving
if-
to Atlanta.
If you people keep thinking to yourselves, like, why do they keep talking about level 13? What the hell is level 13? Level 13 is our fan club, right? It's our behind the scenes exclusive club where you get to hear extra audio. Like when we're done recording this podcast, we keep talking and we record that and we put it out as a little weekly podcast. And all that just for level 13 members. And there's absolutely no cost to do it whatsoever. All you have to do is just send us an email, contact@mix-podcast.com, and say, hey, I want to join level 13. And we will send you your very own RSS feed so that you can hear all of the extra audio goodness that we have in the background there. Let's get to our next phone call, though. Hello. Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Sad to say, he will not be hosting tonight. Jerry.
Oh, my God. Is that Bacon Bits? Did she like hurt herself at the beginning of that phone call? I feel like she might have like I was expecting her to say me, Bacon Bits. I just died. I electrocuted myself on something.
Springer
Yeah, Jerry
is
Springer.
dead.
Yep.
I don't know how old he is. Probably a dinosaur.
79.
But till next time, take care of yourselves and each other, as he would say.
Who is
Bacon
he?
Bits, Sydney.
That's what Jerry
Bacon.
Springer said.
Oh,
Oh no. Okay, Woodhaven.
Woodhaven.
Da-da-da-da-da.
This now, okay, Bacon Bits. If you listen, and Kathy, do not tell her I said this.
uh-oh.
Bacon Bits, if you listen, call in and tell us that you listen, because I want to know whether you're just calling our death phone line
Uh-huh.
because your mom has told you to,
Uh-huh.
or if you actually now listen. I want to know. I think I know the answer.
I mean-
but Kathy, do not tell her.
We met Garrett. I don't think Garrett listens. I don't think Garrett's listening.
Probably not.
Oh, good God. This is a 2 minute and 39-second phone call. I wonder who this is. Do you have any idea
Is
who
it
this
Chris
is?
and Dennis?
No. Have they returned?
I don't know.
Let's see. Let's listen.
Daniel.
Oh, it's bacon. It's just bacon. It's a 2 minute. Oh, you know what? We love Kathy Bacon. All right. We love Kathy Bacon.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay, so I know you like my quick messages or whatever, but I got a little snark to go with this one or whatever.
Okay.
How will all those women find out who their baby's daddies aren't? Now that Jerry Springer is.
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
So anyway, my other comment, whatever. Did you hear that ding? That was my
Yeah.
my cell phone dinged, but I'm driving and using my voice recorder thing or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, okay, so Jerry Springer's dead. How will those people find out who their
Baby daddies are? Yeah.
Because it's like they're never the daddies or whatever.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing I was going to say is like just totally slipping my mind.
Yeah.
But I will ask you a question, which is probably too late now because, well, I guess I'll find out when you play the show or whatever, or when you do the show.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, are you keeping up the running training? Are you a runner now? So I know you said you signed up for a December like that or whatever, but
That's right.
Anyway, I was just wondering if your new habit was running. And hey, next time you go to Arkansas, you and Zach can run next to Mark and Adam while they're on their bicycles.
Right.
So anyway, all right.
Yeah.
Well, enough is enough. I'll just shut up. I know you all hate me anyway.
No, why do we?
We don't.
I am seriously I seriously want to try doing a little podcast.
Yeah.
I would like to start in June. So I was actually going, maybe I'm just going to hire someone to go to the store with me and buy what I need in order to do this or whatever, and then I'll buy how to podcast book. Daniel, you mentioned you hated editing the show, but then you told me to send you a voice note and you would turn it into a podcast.
Right.
It's kind of like one thing kind of contradicts the other or whatever. So I looks like this. I would either pay, $15, $40 a show, whatever you thought you needed, and to somebody who produced the show. Right. But at the same time, what do you call it? This thing ever going to just hang up on me? It's been a long time. So anyway,
It has been a long time, yeah.
14 seconds. And so I don't, I really do want to start doing a podcast or whatever.
So you don't,
stories and my thoughts. And I think the name of it is going to be One Day Smears Into the Other, Bacon Woodhaven.
Oh, wow.
I think, and she's been talking about this for years, but I think Kathy Bacon would be good at podcasting.
And if I can address this, I have said to Kathy Bacon many times on many different occasions, if you want to make a podcast, I will happily produce it. You send me the audio file, I'll take care of everything else. I'll add in the theme music, I'll add in all that stuff. And here's the reason. She said, when I say that I hate editing, but your podcast I didn't make. So I would be listening to it as I'm editing it, which is different than me re-listening to the stuff that I've already said.
Well, that's why I don't listen to any of our stuff. Like, I don't want to hear myself. I would help.
And honestly, we do very little editing on this show.
Most
of what we're doing now is just syncing stuff to video. But go ahead.
With picking out technical stuff. The only thing is, though, I tend to pick really expensive things that you probably wouldn't need. But I would help. I would help with that.
We started Don't Do Disney on a Yeti snowball. What is it? Is it the blue?
Well, I mean, you could
Yeti
tell.
Blue?
I mean, you could tell. Let's face it. But,
Yeti Blue. I say just get yourself a Yeti Blue. It's a USB microphone.
The problem with recording on a computer is, well, do you record? You record on the mixer. Yeah,
I do. But she's just doing a single podcast. You do a Yeti Blue. It's $100. It's a really good, weighty USB mic. It's very good. It's high quality. And then you just on your computer, just run Audacity, and you can record straight from your Yeti into it. And the Yeti also has a little headphone jack on the bottom, so make sure that you plug that in and listen to yourself while you record. That's how you know that you're not too loud.
Rode also has a new, I don't know how much it costs, but they just announced a new thing that's much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have both an audio and video. They put out a video one as well, which I wish they'd put out a video one that's the same size as the Black Magic thing that I've got, because the problem was the audio and video syncing. And if Rode releases one that has both, then I mean, they do, but it's only got one video input, which I need more. Anyway, but I think they announced a smaller mixer that maybe only has one microphone. I'll have to look. But anyway, that's another option. But yeah.
I don't feel like when I look at my Rodecaster Pro, I don't think to myself, oh, the expensive part is the mic ports. It's like, that's just a mono channel, right? It's like, I don't think the number of mic ports really is going to affect the price of it.
It's going to be much cheaper though if it has less inputs. Anyway, regardless, we'll help you whenever you're ready. Both of us.
Kathy Bacon, honestly, if you want to do a podcast, I'm more than happy to let you.
I will not edit your audio.
Somebody on TikTok, where is my phone? Somebody on TikTok, a gay man that I stumbled across was doing, asking the musical question, should he do a podcast? And I replied to his, TikTok. I was like, yeah, absolutely. It's like, you should totally do a podcast. And if you have any technical questions, let me know. And he asked, on TikTok, he was like, tell me what hosting platform do you guys use and what? And I felt like I didn't get into equipment and stuff because I feel like your and my setup is very specific to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're tech nerds who are, spoiled privileged, which
everything I've got is overkill.
Yeah, I know.
For sure.
And it's like the fact that we're using Heil microphones, right? So it's like this microphone is $500. That microphone is $500. So it's like, you don't need that. You totally don't need that. Like I said, the Yeti Blue that I used with my partner on Don't Do Disney, we did our YouTube channel off the Yeti Blue, and that's $100. It's like $109. And and there's so many good things now, especially like the Adobe podcasting site that you can go to, podcast.adobe.com. There's a free AI thing there that you just give them the audio and they will clean it up. And the stuff that it can clean up is amazing. It's just like, it'll take out background noise. It'll amplify and reduce echo. It's like the filters that we run on Audacity, on Audition, because we both use the Adobe suite. It's like, I have a $200 suite of filters that I have for Audition that do like noise removal and voice leveling and things like that. This little podcast thing, this little Adobe podcast website that you just drop your audio in does like a better job than that. So anyway, let's get to our next phone call, shall we? What?
Well, one last thing. I was just going to say, I'm a big Rode fan, and I know you were talking about the Yeti, but I've heard that the Rode USB microphones are really good, and they're only around $99 as well. And they have software that works with them that you can record and all this other stuff that Rode provides for free.
I mean, Audacity is the best free audio. And we did this show on Audacity for years. Yep. I love that product. It's amazing. The only reason that we are in the Adobe jail right now is because of our video, right? So we do video stuff. So when I started doing my YouTube channel with Zach, that's when I switched over to the Adobe suite for video editing and stuff. And they have a really nice audio editor, which is not free. So that's why we use Adobe. We use Adobe Audition and Premiere Pro and stuff, but that's just because. What?
I said
you don't.
No, I agreed. I was agreeing.
Oh, I thought that was a skeptical, like you don't use it. Like,
no, I do. I do.
I can't wait till Adobe Firefly. Anyway, let's move on to our next phone call here, shall we?
Jerry Springer.
Yep.
Age 79, dead.
Yep.
I don't know if you've heard of Jerry Springer. Possibly.
Is he scratching himself?
He's not famous enough.
I don't know. Maybe.
I feel like I hear him scratching himself.
After a brief illness, died peacefully at home in suburban Chicago.
Yeah.
This is Scotty, Aussie battler.
This is an AMSR death call.
Woodhaven. Jerry.
They have so many birds. And I know they make fun of the way that I don't know if it's the way I say bird or the way Americans say bird, because we pronounce the R. whereas they say bud.
I hear
but
the
they
bud
have
is
they
the
have
word.
so many buds, or he owns one, because I always hear like in the background when he's talking.
I just assumed those were other Australian people. Let's go to our next phone call, shall we?
Hey,
Oh,
guys. RT Cruiser for the Celebrity Death Phone.
Oh, RT Cruiser.
Harry Belafonte.
Yes.
Dead at, I'm going to say 90.
Sure. We'll go with
Okay, bye.
I think it was actually 89, but sure, we'll go with 90. That's fine. I'm not going to quibble on that. Yes, Harry Belafonte is dead. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's dead. Oh.
You already did that bit once.
I know I did.
Yeah.
But I...
So Auntie Scott says 96. I don't know if that's a joke.
All right. Yeah, 96. There you go. Thank you guys for calling in. If you would like to call in and report a celebrity death, you can do so. We have a contest for that. Every time that you report a celebrity death, we add your name into a bucket. And if it's the first time that this celebrity death is reported to us, we add $1 to the pot. Adam, what's the pot up to?
Was that number 9 that you just played? I just want to make sure, because I just added that one.
Yes.
It just came in while we were recording.
I know. And then I sorted it. That's why it wasn't at the top of the list anymore.
$79.
$79 in the pot. And we got a few more months for this to tick up, because when we do the live streaming
we don't
weekend,
even know.
We don't even know when it is.
doing
It could be 2 years from now. But
December.
well, there you go. $74. You could win $74 just
79.
by calling $79 just by, well, $5 handling fee. Just to call in a celebrity death to us. One caveat, though, you cannot be responsible for the celebrity's death.
Also, let's face it, Bacon Bits is going to win. So
it has to be, that just means I'm going to hit her up for a donation to Autism Speaks. Anyway, that's it. Let's get out of there.
3, 2, 1.
Get out of there? What the fuck? I don't even know how to talk anymore. All right, Adam, I did pull one more clip from your award-winning podcast, Throwing Down with Joe Batanz. And it has to do with Pod as my co-pilot. Now, I know, just to set the stage here, Rodan and Taylor and Rodan's husband, Darwin, ran the same race that I did. They ran yes, they ran the same race that I did.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm trying to figure out, because they were in Corral E and Rodan actually finished ahead of me, which means at some point in time he passed me. And since I've never ever met Rodan before, I don't know what he looks like in person. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I didn't see him, but
we have seen him on a video screen.
Yeah, on video. Yeah,
and,
I've seen his face, but I have no concept of how tall or big he is or whatever. So it's like, I didn't see him pass me. And of course he's never met me, so he didn't know to be anyway. But at one point, yeah, we've had, I'm curious if it was when I was in line for a photo for Pluto, because that was the only time I stopped, was to get a photo for Pluto. And that took about 10 minutes. Anyway, all of which is to say, Adam, that this clip from your award-winning podcast, Throwing Down with Joe Batanz, you're talking about this fact, that Pod as my co-pilot was there at the same event that you were.
Those Pod as my co-pilot people.
Wait, you met them?
No, that is my point. We are not their friends, is what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. We are acquaintances. They are the popular clique.
Uh-huh.
They're the popular clique?
Well, I don't even know. But I mean, I feel like I felt when I was in high school or, junior high when, the popular kids were hanging out over at the tree, but like I was with the band nerds or something.
Wait, I don't know this. Were Taylor and Rodan over?
What was the tree? The place that the popular in Arkansas?
Yeah,
that was the
a
place.
Tree. There was a big tree in front of the building with seats around it. Yeah.
Hey, Adam, you want to come hang out by the tree?
It was all the popular kids.
I can't do. I'm not popular enough to hang out by that tree.
At Disney World this weekend?
Yes, They were at Disney. Never once did they meet us. Daniel kept texting them and telling them like where we were. They didn't make any. They did. He was trying to give them clues that, hey, why don't you whatever. Nothing. They were there. No, he's like, and then at the run we saw Babalu because he was sitting in the stands.
Yeah.
But did Taylor and Rodan and his boyfriend come back to the stands to meet Daniel and I and Zach and Mark? No, they just left or whatever. We never saw them.
But
never saw them.
Never
saw them. Exchanged some text. Never saw them.
Yeah, wasn't your theory that I believe your theory was that they texted Babalu and told him to come to them because they didn't want to see you? Wasn't that your...
Here's my theory is this. On the last Pride 48 live streaming weekend, Rodan, on the Pod is My Co-Pilot show, Rodan was talking about the age difference between him and Darwin. And he said something about how, that sometimes he feels embarrassed about it or he feels weird because there's an age difference between the two of them. And I don't remember exactly what the age spread between the two of them is, but it's very, very close to the one between myself and Zach. Zach and I are 20 years apart. So I made some joke in the chat room about how, it's horrible that you would date someone 20 years younger than you or something like that. It was a joke about myself, right? It was a joke about whatever, but Rodan on the show commented on that comment and said, "Oh, fuck you, Daniel Brewer," or something like that. And I assumed that he understood the joke and, I laughed and everything. But now that I think about it, I'm wondering if he has, in his mind, I am, criticizing the age difference between the two of them. And so therefore, I'm an asshole because I would be an asshole if I was criticizing that.
I mean, good for him. It's fine with me.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. My boyfriend is 20 years younger than me. I have no problem with age differences, whatever. I mean, love is love, but I'm just saying, I feel like he thinks that I'm, you know what I'm saying? Because I was making a comment in a derogatory way, but with the full understanding that everyone in the chat room knew that I was in the same boat. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like when I complain about the Disney, the Florida trip, and I'm just being funny on a podcast. It's
but that's my theory. My theory is that Rodan does not care for Daniel Brewer. But that is the Daniel Brewer.
I think that they barely know that we exist.
Now that could very well be. That could very well be that I'm reading way too much in it, and they, much like an ant on the sidewalk. We are just an ant on the sidewalk to these behemoths. But this is why I pulled this clip, because your co-host is about to get something very, very wrong. So let me play this bit right now.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. This is the first time talking about this. I'm throwing down. What goes around comes around, right? Because Daniel messages me a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, blah-bitty, blah-bitty, blah, I'm in California. And I
by the way, that was the exact text. I typed blah-bitty, blah-bitty, blah. I'm in California.
He had just gotten there. I think it was in the middle of the weekend. And I go, oh, what are you going to be doing? Maybe we can meet up. And he goes, oh, no, I'm leaving tonight. I've been here for like 2 or 3 days.
You did do that.
All right. But this is why it's different. It's not like Pod is My Co-Pilot went to Tontitown on their trip to do something else. They went to Tontitown and they didn't look you up. Like they didn't hook up with you knowing that you lived in Tontitown. That is not the case. What happened is we went to the same event. We went to the exact same event that we had both been training for and talking about. Taylor was on this show talking about the race. He was. And said, and the end of that show said, well, we'll see you there, right? Just like I had the expectation that we were going to at least
I thought they would join us for dinner at some point or have lunch.
Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't think they would have dinner with us, but maybe grab some lunch or drinks or something.
A churro, I don't know. Something.
You can't manage that many people for dinner. That's crazy. But the point is that it's completely different, Joe Batance. I was in LA, which is where you live. I didn't, and I already had a bunch of stuff planned. It wasn't like I went to the house next to yours and didn't, well, I believe it wasn't like Joe Batance, he went to MegaCon, right? We were staying at a hotel and the Anaheim Convention Center MegaCon was going on while we were there. So it would be analogous if I went to MegaCon knowing that Joe Batance was at MegaCon and didn't even try to meet up with him we went to the same event at the same place. And, it's like we met up with Babalu. We knew I knew their bib numbers. We knew how to try. I saw them. I saw Darwin and Taylor passed the finish line. I cheered them on. They had earbuds in. They couldn't hear us, but it's like we were cheering them on as they passed. So it's like I just assumed that they were going to come over and say hi. But anyway.
I forgot what I was going to say. Dang it. Anyway, it wasn't important then. That's fine.
I'm just saying it's not the same thing, Joe Batance. Not the same thing. We are already at an hour and a half.
We are, yeah.
Do you want to skip the news game? Because I honestly haven't been.
I'm okay skipping the news game. Yeah, it's fine with me.
Let's skip the news game tonight. Let's just move right over here into this little segment.
I mean, maybe some people just come for the news game, but
The answer to everything is Ron DeSantis. Our executive producer, Cyclone, compiles a vast list of research for us each and every week here on this show, all about things that happened on the day that we were recording of some other year. So in this case, these are going to be things that happened on April 28th of some other year. You get it? You get the bit, Adam? You understand the premise there? Happy National Blueberry Pie Day, Adam. Today is National Blueberry Pie Day.
I might have mentioned that on my show. But yes, it is.
Oh, it's over now. It's over now. Hairball Awareness Day. Did you mention Hairball Awareness Day?
I did not.
Okay, well then, happy National Hairball Awareness Day, Adam. Falling on the last Friday in April every year, National Hairball Awareness Day aims to promote awareness of your pet's health and happiness. Predominantly a concern for cats, rabbits, and cattle, hairballs are a healthy part of an animal's routines and a delicious part of this nutritious breakfast.
Excuse me one moment. Hold on just a second. Okay.
5 facts about hairballs to make you choke. They can be bigger than a baseball.
Lovely.
The record for the biggest ever hairball to be removed from a cat weighed in at 7.5 ounces and was 4.9 inches wide.
Now, are those AOL ounces or...
The longer the hair, the bigger the ball. I mean, how many times have we heard that?
Yeah, exactly.
Humans can get them. Any animal with hair can end up swallowing it, including humans, but it tends to be rabbits and cows that are the most susceptible.
Huh. I mean, I don't hang around cows, but or rabbits for that matter, but I wouldn't have thought of them coughing up hairballs. Interesting.
On this day in 1981, Marilyn Barnett files a palimony suit against tennis icon Billie Jean King, outing her. At the time, King denies that she's a lesbian, although she acknowledges the affair. King lost all of her endorsements in a 24-hour period and wins the case and comes out officially. Yeah.
I don't know either of those people. So
Billie Jean King, she was a tennis player. She
was she friends with Harry Belafonte? Because I feel like maybe they could have been.
I'm just saying, nowadays, come out doesn't mean what it did then. I mean, she lost all of her endorsements. Just the hint of her being a lesbian in 1981 was enough for all of her sponsors to dump her. That sucks. On April 28th in 2000, the year 2000, the Millennium March on Washington takes place in Washington, D.C. The event lasts for 3 days.
What was that one about? I mean, well, I guess it was about, I don't even know what it was about. LGBT rights? Marriage?
I already forgot what we were talking about. What were we
the
talking
Millennium,
about?
The Millennium March.
Oh, I don't know.
The Millennium Falcon. It was LGBTQ plus news. I don't know. I should know.
It's probably Millennium Falcons. Yeah, that's probably so. On April 28th of 1989, a Typhoon Lagoon sneak preview takes place for members of the press. The new Disney World water park will open on June 1st of the same year. I was actually at I was there before the sneak preview because the company I worked for at the time managed a construction company that built Typhoon Lagoon, and we got invited to the construction party. So I was actually at Typhoon Lagoon like 2 weeks before that sneak preview.
By the way, the Millennium March on Washington was an event to raise awareness and visibility of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people and issues of LGBT rights in the U.S. It was held April 28th through April 30th in 2000. There you go.
Also, according to the chat room, Billie Jean and Jill Biden were at the women's Final Four championship game. Jill Biden?
Billie Jean is not my lover.
On April 28th of 1954, Hank Aaron hit his first home run of his MULB career. What is MULB?
I don't know. MULB? No clue.
Hank Aaron hits his first home run of his MLB career. Oh, baseball. All right, baseball.
A home run is when you hit the ball out so far that they can't return it, and you run all the way around the bases, and you get points.
Points. You get points?
I don't know. 1 point. I don't know how many points you get, but you get a point.
A point. So if you round all the bases, you get 3 points?
I mean, I'm not really sure. I know that's how you score. I'm not really sure what.
You score by
running all the way around
the bases.
And they can't tag you with the, if they tag you with the ball before you get all the way around, you don't get any points.
You did no points
for that. You're out.
No points.
I mean, kind of like that. You know.
They out you?
Basically.
Okay. From the Weekly World News of April 28th of 88? I'm old and I can't see. 1998. Is there ever a week that the Weekly World News does not have prophecies on the front page? 12 chilling predictions from the Bethlehem prophecies.
I feel like they had a guy, I don't know if this newspaper is still in existence, but I feel like they had a guy and his job was the prophecy guy. I don't know what his title was, but that's all he did was come up with prophecies.
Here, translated into modern English, are the 12 Bethlehem prophecies, Adam. Pick a number. I'm not going to read all 12. Pick a number.
7.
A false prophet will preach the blasphemy that the Son is to be worshipped as God. Many shall desert the religion of their fathers and follow him.
Huh.
I don't think that happened.
Probably not. I don't either.
An amazing dog levitates in midair every time the owner uses a vacuum cleaner. I feel like that's just all dogs. That's like, does Sydney, your dog, dislike the vacuum cleaner?
Oh, she hates the vacuum cleaner. She runs away every time. Every time.
I'm sorry. Executive producer was trying to point this out to me and I missed it. Here's the story of the paper. Oops. Penis enlargement surgery leaves man's wee-wee 1 inch shorter and crooked.
I mean, a lot of them are crooked to begin with. So, I mean, that's,
Eager
could be desirable.
Engineer George Colby shelled out a whopping $9,000 to a plastic surgeon to have his 4-inch penis enlarged, then removed the bandages and discovered to his horror that the organ had actually shrunk.
So, first of all, a $9,000 penis, I don't know how much they go for, but I would feel if it was $9,000, that's not enough for a good one. I mean, was this
This was 1998.
Did he go to like some island somewhere?
This is 30 years ago. 30 years.
That's true. Oh, well.
Deaf men are happy hubbies. All right.
I don't know. AI is going to solve that problem one day. They're just going to type it into ChatGPT. How can I lengthen my penis? And it's going to say Kegel exercises.
That's probably what it's going to say. Adam, many people were born on April 28th. We'd like to say happy birthday to a few shirtless members of that group right now. Happy birthday, Harry Shum Jr.
He is very attractive. I don't know who he is.
He's the guy from Glee. He was the Asian dancing. He was the token Asian guy in Glee.
Oh, he looks
that did
different.
all the dancing.
He looks different now.
Yeah, because he's 41 now. Drew Scott, you've turned 45. That's one of the Property Brothers, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we watch Property Brothers we used to watch Property Brothers all the time.
So then by extension, Jonathan Scott also turned 45.
He did. They're twins.
Jorge Garcia, an American actor from Lost. I noticed that our executive producer included the picture before he lost all the weight. He actually lost a whole bunch of weight.
We saw him at Disney. by the way. You remember?
We did.
It was when we were at that, we sat down and there was a bird that was really chirping at us and he was there. He walked right by. Yeah.
Jay Leno turned 72. And anyone else? Harper Lee. Didn't Harper Lee write To Kill a Mockingbird? Harper Lee they're dead, but they had their birthday.
I believe so. Didn't Jay Leno recently hurt himself somehow in his car, like under a car fell on him or something? Or
sure, we'll go with that.
I mean, when I say recent, the past year,
could have been. Happy birthday, Penelope Cruz. Jessica Alba, Alex Riley. Anyone else that you see here that needs to be mentioned? I don't. Anne Margaret turned 82. Anyone else? One more?
No.
All right. Well, in that case, then all that's left for me to do is to say happy birthday from all of us here to all of you, except the dead ones. Well, I guess we still said happy birthday. All right.
If anybody cared, Jay Leno had a motorcycle accident in January. He was clotheslined and had broken ribs and other things. So,
for anyone that might have been listening earlier in the show, when I alluded to the fact that I was going to talk about Archer at the end of the show, you have now arrived at that segment.
And he's long gone now, I'm pretty sure.
Archer's asleep. He's asleep. So here, let me talk about Archer. Our good friend Archer of Archer Radio, another podcast, the Podfather. His Archer Radio has existed long before digital media at all. I think he used to record it on wax cylinders and give it out to people on phonographs. Anyway, Archer, I was listening to Archer's show, and he got a phone call from some right-wing crazy person that said, I'm against, I don't know why I'm giving this guy a Southern accent, because he didn't have a Southern accent, but he's basically said, I'm against Trump being indicted because that means that they're going to come after our people or whatever. It's like, it's just going to mean that the Republican judges are going to come after Democrats now, or the Republican prosecutors are going to go after. And Archer agreed with it. Archer agreed. And I'm like, that is the dumbest. He broke the law. I don't care if he's Democrat or Republican. He broke the law. Of course he should be indicted. And
this is what I want to say. And this is a pipe dream. Is that what you would call it? A pipe dream?
Sure, pipe dream.
Where does pipe dream come from? Like, where does that phrase come from?
It probably comes from peyote, like which you smoke out of a pipe. But let me Google it. Let me find out, Adam.
I mean, you ever say a saying and then go, where in the hell did that come from? But anyway, so yeah, what I was going to say is, I just want us to get to the place. Yes.
Pipe dream stems from the practice of smoking opium. And though many English writers turned to opiates for inspiration, the term pipe dream originated in the United States in the mid-1800s to the late 1800s. The Western United States was rife with opium dens, places where opium from China was sold and smoked.
Yeah. So I just want all of this legal and everything. I can't make sense right now.
All legal and everything.
No. And everything.
I, Adam Burns, declare
all legal
and everything, such as.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want it to be based on politics. Why is everything based on politics? Like whether you're liberal or woke.
It's not. That is totally a Republican talking point. That some liberal prosecutor is coming after. It's like, no, you broke the law. A prosecutor's coming after you.
Well, I don't know. I would argue that the Supreme Court,
they're not prosecutors.
Some of the decisions that they've made recently,
that's different.
I feel like those are.
We're talking about prosecute. Anyway, the point is if you break the law, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, if you break the law, then you should be punished for it. You should be held minimally responsible for it, instead of this bullshit of like nobody's ever held responsible for any. Not one single person ever was jailed or in any way fined for the war in Iraq.
By the way,
a war that we fought on faulty premise with faulty, whatever. No, nobody was ever held accountable for that ever.
By the way, shit. I don't know what I was going to say.
I don't need the
Go
shit,
ahead.
but thank you.
By the way, shit.
By the way, shit. All right. So the other thing that happened on Archer's show. He likes to talk about eating at a restaurant that is owned by the husband of Nora O'Donnell.
Yes, I believe you've mentioned that before, and she is a news personality, but I don't remember where she.
I don't know either. I know that
CBS.
I know that maybe I know the name, but so Archer decided that every time he mentioned this restaurant, he was going to play a theme song. And I guess it's Nora O'Donnell's theme song for whatever newscast she does. But he never says what newscast. It's like he just assumes that we all know what the Nora O'Donnell theme is. Like, Adam, can you hum me a few bars of the Nora O'Donnell theme?
No, I can't. But I mean, he probably just assumes that people of a certain age would know Nora O'Donnell, because that's also a name that Big Fatty talks about a lot. So I feel like maybe, and old people love procedurals. So again, CBS, but I love a procedural. I'm preparing for old age.
You're preparing.
Matlock, one of my favorite all time.
Kathy Bacon called his show and said, when he played so of course the first time that he rolls this bit out, he overplays the theme, right? He like when we went to Nora O'Donnell husband's restaurant, and then and he played the theme song, right? And then he did it again, and he did it again, and he did it a fourth time, and so he said, "Don't worry, I won't do that again." And Kathy Bacon calls in and she's like, when you kept playing that Nora O'Donnell theme song, all I could think was that Daniel Brewer was rolling his eyes. Now, Adam.
Yes.
That assumes that I'm going to listen to the show.
Oh, you do listen because you want to know if he talks about you, just like he listens to us to know if we talk about him. I mean, that's...
And it assumes like so many things. I didn't roll my eyes while the Nora. I got the bit.
I'm surprised you didn't call him up and say, Archer, I could help you with that audio if you'd like.
I thought it was a cute bit. You know what? I was going to save this for level 13, but we're thinking about introducing a paella bit here to our show. In honor of our Jose Andres Jaleo tapas restaurant experience, the paella noise.
Try the mussels; they're delightful. I don't know. I was trying to, the Be Our Guest song. Ask
at one point in time, when we were in line to ride the aerial ride, I looked at Adam and I said, "Adam, how many wonders can one cavern hold?" And he had no clue. He had no clue what I was asking.
No, I didn't, because I don't have I'm not a 12-year-old, Daniel. I don't have every line of every Disney song memorized.
Excuse me? 12-year-old?
I just say, like, I don't have...
I am a dank, Adam. I am a Disney adult, no kids. I'm a dink dank, for that matter. Double income, no kids, and Disney adult, no kids. So don't screw around with the dink danks. Adam, if people would like to get in touch with us, they can do so. Our email address is contact@mixminuspodcast.com. Our voicemail is 707-61-DEATH. If you would like to report a celebrity death, please do so. Using that phone number, or you can go to voicemail.mixminuspodcast.com on your phone and just record it that way. Much better quality. Sound great. That even works in Australia, believe it or not. We'll be back next week. What the fuck is that?
The birds in Australia.
Oh, the birds in Australia. So we'll be back next week. Adam, anything you want to add to that?
This podcast is a proud member of the Pride 48 Podcasting Network. Check out more great shows at pride48.com.